business owner? Entrepreneur? Want to learn how online marketing can improve your business?
Your questions.
Our advice.
This is Not a Real Job.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 81 of Not a Real Job, the comedy podcast that helps you turn the things you love into things that make you money. I am Chris Van Patten, and I make websites.
And I am Joel Van Kelly, and I live in Canada.
Yes, you do. How is Canada treating you?
It's you remember the film? I think it was a little film called Freezed. It was an animated film from DreamWorks Animation. And it was about a city that was covered in ice, and they called it Freezed Up in Frozen Town. And that's what Halifax is like right now.
Sure.
Excuse me, I've just got to pour myself another drink, so there we go.
Well, speaking of, I'm not pouring mine. I just, pop the top.
Oh, that's some good audio right there with all the glass sounds. What do they call that in filmmaking? They call that
Foley.
Foley.
Dave Foley, another great Canadian.
Something Foley, Chris Farley character, SNL.
Yes. What are you drinking?
Mick Foley, wrestler.
Sure.
I am drinking a little thing called Bibb and Tucker small batch bourbon whiskey. Aged 6 years. Not only this small batch, Chris, but this is actually batch number 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
This sounds like something that comes from Brooklyn. Is that true?
It comes from 35 Maple Street in Crestwood, Kentucky.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
I've never heard of Crestwood.
You wouldn't have, because what do you know about literally anything? But so we have a couple things to clarify here. First of all, this is a $100 bottle of bourbon up here in Canada. I believe it costs something like $50 in America because
the exchange rate is so rough.
The exchange rate sucks right now. It was doing so well for so long, but now it sucks again. But anyway, it's a $100 bottle of bourbon that I am going through as if it were a $20 bottle. Because I'm going to admit something to you, Christopher. We have to keep this between us. While I was waiting for you, I kind of had a few drinks. Like,
whoa,
as many as 5 to 6.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
I thought you were a teetotaler.
Look, I'll total some tea. You know that. But sometimes I'll total some Kentucky tea.
Some Kentucky?
Kentucky bourbon whisk tea. Crushed it. Got it in one. So that's what I'm drinking. It's actually not too bad. I mean, the flavor profile is very interesting. Some of the reviews I was reading talk a lot about its earthiness and its grassiness. It's much less sweet than you'd expect from normal bourbon. Bourbon can often be quite sweet because of the...
Can it?
Yeah. Because of the freshly charred oak barrels. Can have a very smoky, very sweet flavor. This one does not. It's only aged 6 years. But that's obviously plenty for a normal bourbon, but sometimes you can get a little older and maybe it gets a little more complex, but
a little older, a little wiser.
Yeah, just like me. My birthday is in a couple days. So just
is it
like
now?
It is. So I eagerly await your present. What are you drinking?
I am drinking a Pibber.
What's that?
It's a fine ale, I believe.
Do you mean
beer?
A Pibray?
No.
Pronounced
no.
PBR.
Well, that is what I mean. I do mean PBR.
Oh, we say Pibray in Canada.
Do you?
Yep.
Is this like related to
everything ends in A?
Their whole French.
Well,
it's not related to that.
Canada was founded by 3 Frenchmen. Pepe Le Pew, Jean Chrétien, and Marion Cotillard.
Interesting. I didn't know she was around at that time.
No, she's an immortal.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, Joel, I saw the movie The Immortals, and
Correct.
I don't remember her being in it.
She played the Immortals.
All of them.
Yeah.
It's an Andy Serkis style performance for the ages.
She's also Andy Serkis.
Huh.
She played Gollum.
Is she me?
I think so.
Is she you?
Also that. Oh my God. Okay. Idea for a podcast. It's a 2-person show, but it's one person doing different voices.
Don't we already do that?
Write that down. Other me. No, because it turns out one of us is the best podcast host ever, and one of us is at best second best.
So I was just going to bring this up, actually.
Let's dig right in, because Christopher, I want to make this abundantly clear. Never in a contest between me and other people have I ever been selected as the winner. And here's the heartbreaking thing. I'll never get to say that again, because now I'm a person who wins things. I'm a winner, Christopher. I finally get that feeling. I feel like Ewan McGregor in Big Fish.
I've never seen that.
Really? It's like a super good movie. Jessica Lange.
I don't know who that is.
She's in something horror show. I've never seen it, but I think she's in that. American Horror Story. Tales from the Horror Crypt.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's dig into this week's topic, because literally nothing else of importance has happened this week or will happen this week other than this one thing.
Yeah. Give
us the recap.
I was going to ask you to give the recap.
Well,
although I guess you are in charge now because you are on top.
May I?
So to speak.
All right. So literally everyone is who's listening, which is probably no one. But anyway, is wondering, what the heck are we talking about, Chris? How could I, Joel Van Patten Kelly, ever be considered a winner? In what universe? I'm going to tell you what universe. The podcast universe.
The podcastiverse.
So there's a podcast called Pod on Pod. It's hosted by Josh and Joel. Joel Sharpton of Twitter fame had asked us a question before, and we answered it. You might remember that from insert episode number here. No one's going to do that, but, another episode. Let's say it's in the show notes. We answered that question. Anyway, they're a podcast that reviews podcasts.
Which is very meta.
It's so meta because podcasts are podcast review shows. So a podcast that reviews podcasts of podcasts that review podcasts.
Who watches The Watchmen? Is what we're saying.
Josh and Joel do.
They do.
They do indeed. Podman.
Who pods the Podman?
Pod people. Anyway, they reviewed our show. There were 3 of us. Basically, they had a 3-podcast death match. Is essentially what happened. It was us and 2 other podcasts.
Do we want to mention?
I don't know. Is that a dick move?
I mean, I feel like we've earned it.
Mentioning them or not mentioning them?
Well, rubbing it in their faces.
Okay.
In public.
Let's just reel it back in a bit. I believe they mentioned that we were nice people, and that was one of our selling points. So this title can be revoked. So the other 2, I'm sure, incredible podcasts were.
I will say that one of those podcasts is in the top echelon of rated podcasts on iTunes, and I believe it might even be in the top 100.
Great. Well, let's not say which one, so it can sound like we're complimenting both of them. Anyway, the 2 other podcasts were Entrepreneur on Fire and Get It Done Guy. Again, I'm sure incredible podcasts. I'm sure, if we're the best podcast, let's set that bar here. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they're nipping at our ankles. They're so close. If we're infinitely good, they're just under infinitely good. That's all I'm saying. So I'm sure these podcasts are great. But anyway, so they reviewed our podcast and they reviewed these other podcasts. And here's the important point. They talked about their favorite host, Chris. Mm-hmm. Do you want to know who is their favorite host of these 3 podcasts?
I have no idea right now, so please enlighten me.
I was doing like a Dora the Explorer thing where I thought the audience would shout it out. But then I realized what we were doing here.
There's no audience.
There's no audience. I assume the audience is shouting it out, but because of the way that this has to be recorded, which is to say not live or in front of a studio audience, unfortunately, as much as I've tried. Anyway, their favorite host was me. Oh. Sorry, that was the sound of me just like casually stretching. Yeah.
Stretch sounds. That's what the people come here for.
And that was the sound of me basking.
How does it feel, Joel? Can you describe, up on high, can you talk to us little people, us little folk? And can you describe the sensation or sensations that you're experiencing right now?
Open bracket, S, close bracket. Sensations. I hesitate. Look, I hesitate to use the word orgasmic.
And yet.
So I won't. So I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is that I listened to the review a few times. I listened to them say my name a couple times. And I wept in a way that I didn't think I was capable of weeping.
Is this a goof?
Well, yes and no. I did listen to it a few times, but I didn't cry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna. I mean, I would judge.
I'm not a child, Christopher. I'm a grown ass man. I'm the best podcast host in the world, or among the
limited number of podcasts that they.
If you put me up against, let's say, 2 other podcasts, it's possible I might be the best. Let's say 2 very specific podcasts, the ones we mentioned previously. Were you
the aforementioned? Were
you to roll the dice again, I may come out ahead yet again. Probably not, though. I think this. I feel like the last few minutes I've ceded the crown to literally anyone else. Probably you. You've been very gracious about this. I don't think I'd be as gracious as you're being.
I mean, I live for graciousness, so you know. But yeah, this is a real thing. Joel's not just making up nonsense like he normally does. Thank you to Josh and Joel at Pod on Pod for giving. I mean, frankly, I was a little nervous.
Are you fucking kidding me? A little nervous? I almost shit my pants. Like, it was the most terrifying experience of my life.
Oh, totally. Because we've talked about this on the show that, especially over the past couple months, we've really changed the tone of the show.
At least we thought so, apparently.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that I don't think we ever actually took the time to maybe stop and say, hey, did we make the right change? Right. And maybe the people hated it, and maybe they still do hate it.
You mean going from attempting to make a serious program to straight up nonsense?
Which is sort of where we landed.
Yeah.
But all the same, they were super gracious and super nice, and I believe we won.
I don't know. I see. I'm not clear about that. I think Get It Done guy may have won.
Joel.
Yep.
If you won, we won.
Oh. Okay. Yes, we. Okay, so we, as in us as personalities, we're winners now. We can.
Which
say
I
that.
think in a podcast is the most important.
Well, they
thing.
said our audio quality was decent.
I mean, to be fair, Steve does an incredible job to making the crap that we send him sound reasonably good.
And also, it sounds like most of the episodes they listened to were pre-Joel getting a new mic after literally breaking it.
Sure. What I'm saying is
that they talked about episode 54, our drunkest non-joint recording, like non in the same room recording episode, and I listened to that again, and it's outrageously bad. And that was after I believe my microphone broke in my suitcase, and I attempted to fix it myself.
Yeah. All I'm saying is that we can't blame Steve for the fact that we send him terrible audio. But in the same way, we can't let him have any credit for our big win here. Because, I mean, this show's really about you now.
Honestly, it's, as far as I know, you, Steve, Lindsay, I mean, you guys have like a couple of clicks of button clicks and your work is done. I spend hours a year doing this podcast.
In some senses, I feel like the Andy Richter to your Conan. Does that seem like an appropriate comparison? Like, I am here to support your comedy.
Yeah, I guess in a world where Conan is drunk all the time and Andy Richter is the funnier one, which I guess other than the drunk thing, I don't think Conan's a big drinker, but Andy Richter is obviously the funnier person. So yeah, no, that's a good that's a good. Yeah, I'm the taller person.
That is
the taller, less funny person who still manages to be the name on the title card.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that happened. I really should.
I guess what I'm saying is somehow this award has made me more insecure than ever.
Right, because now that you have it, it could slip away at any time.
They could re-review us based on this episode.
Which would, I mean, maybe we just shouldn't release this episode.
You know who I feel the worst
Who's
for?
That?
The worst for? Let's say we didn't come out as the winners on that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would listen to the next episodes of The Winner.
Mm-hmm.
If it was this, like, if that next episode of their podcast sounded like our episode of this podcast right now, I think I'd be horrified. Because these are the rantings of an obviously inebriated human.
Madman.
And his comedically adorable sidekick.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that I'm the sidekick in this situation.
Yeah, of course. You're very small. But more importantly, you're leaving me.
I am.
Potentially permanently.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
I mean, to be fair, I was never with you.
Well, spiritually.
Well, I'll
Biblically.
I will still be there spiritually. Spiritfully.
Spiritfully.
I will be there as a ghost, a spirit.
Spiritfully. Are you going to haunt me when you die?
That's the hope. I mean, I hope I already do.
I imagine you're going to have a lot of unfinished business. That business
exclusively
being
with you.
Having killed me.
Well, I mean,
the goal is to go out killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
I thought. So I would assume were you to die first, that would be like a big, kind of like a gaping hole in your unfinished business.
Sure.
A gaping hole in your business.
In my business. Yeah, no, I am leaving. As of this time, we're recording on Friday because I am leaving on Saturday to fly to Barcelona. Barcelona.
Oh, what was that?
You say the C is like a TH thing.
Do you?
I'm pretty sure you do.
I guess you're the football fan. I guess so.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Well,
Literally
really
nothing.
Yeah, no, I'm leaving. By the time you listen to this, I will be in Barcelona. And yeah, it should be a good time.
Have you packed?
I have gotten a very good start. I'm not really bringing all that much, so it's not a huge undertaking. Really.
How much luggage do you have for this life-changing
I'm bringing
adventure?
a 16-liter backpack.
I don't know what that means. What are liters? Tell me that in fluid ounces.
I don't know it in fluid ounces, but it's basically like, I don't know, 18 inches tall by like 5 inches deep and like, I don't know, 11 inches wide.
How many M&Ms could we get in there if we tried?
I would say, like the normal sized M&M bag, I would say probably like 20 of those.
Wait, you're just taking a backpack?
Yeah, a single backpack.
To Barcelona?
Yeah, Barcelona.
But I said Barcelona.
The audio quality is bad, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, one backpack.
What's in there?
Clothes.
Snacks?
No snacks.
20 bags of M&Ms?
No, not even one.
Like
clothes, mostly clothes.
Clothes, drugs?
No, just clothes.
What does one take to Barcelona?
Clothes.
But just clothes.
Just clothes. And a laptop.
Not like in a laptop. Yeah. We call them notebooks now, but good try.
A Kindle.
You got a Kindle. Mm-hmm. Cool. You got What else do you need over there? Do you have like wine?
So, do I have wine?
Yeah, are you gonna take some wine?
No,
with
I
you?
expect that I'll be able to get that on the ground there.
Oh, you can't get the good American stuff though over there.
That's what I need in my life, American wine.
Something good from the rich Maine River
The
Valley,
loamy soils of America.
the Appalachian wine.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna trust that I can get that there.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
no, really. I mean, we're not that thing that I said about in the beginning about how we help you turn the things you love into things that make you money. We're not going to touch on that this week.
Have apparently, according to our review, we've literally never touched on that.
Which, I mean, to be honest, like that's not a faulty assessment. I like to think that we sort of tangentially give inspiration. We were said to be the most inspirational podcast.
It is, and I think what I read into that is you could listen to an episode of this and go, these assholes have jobs. Surely I'm capable of anything.
Yeah.
I think that's what they meant.
Which is completely fair and completely valid.
Yeah. You're going to Barcelona and you are, as far as I know, skillless.
You're not wrong.
So can we, like, I feel like we've kind of dodged the topic. Like, can you talk about like how this happened, why it's happening, where it's happening, who it's happening to? Or are we going to just continue to, let you remain mysterious? Because I assume that you're there to run drugs.
Well, obviously, I can't comment on that. I can't confirm or deny speculation.
See, this is the problem.
Listen, Joel,
that we're experiencing here.
I'm under some listen. Just between you and me, I'm under some.
You're talking to me like people start talking to me when I get drunk. The way you said Joel right there sounds exactly like Joel.
Yeah.
God, there it is again.
Man to man here, Joel. Let's send the ladies away.
Okay.
I'm under some
ladies
intense legal pressure here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In America.
Listen. They found out about the meth. I thought, with Breaking Bad, I thought now would be like a good time because the buzz was up. Turns out they're just looking for it more.
They're looking for it more.
So I can't talk.
But they're looking for that blue stuff.
I just can't talk about it on the show. That's the thing. We can't talk about my drugged past. My drugged past. So let's get back. We have to move past that.
Okay, just let me just if you put the drugs in your butt, they won't find it.
I can't though. I had the butt disease.
Oh God! Right, nothing stays up there anymore.
All right, ladies, you can
It's
come
a leaky
back.
faucet. Okay, ladies, welcome back.
Oh my God, that's like the worst thing I've ever said, isn't it?
Which one? The butt disease?
No,
part?
we're not going to talk about that. But leave the room, ladies. Come back, ladies. Oh,
I think so.
terrible.
That's probably among the worst. Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Actually, no. I mean, I'm sort of giving up on any topic or any point to this episode. Just
is it because I got drunk? I feel
no.
like
I mean,
it's my fault.
I'm operating on almost no sleep. My parents were in town this week to bring some stuff to me before the trip, and so they could.
Ugh. And those assholes, party animals.
Well, kind of like we went to various speakeasy type situations, and then I've been to cocktail bars a couple other nights this week, and just random other places. What? So,
did you lose your phone?
No, believe it or not, no.
Oh well, then nothing happened.
But it does mean that
the party don't start till
the phone gets lost.
Chris loses a phone.
Yeah, that's true. No, I'm operating on very little sleep. But anyway, so I guess something vaguely interesting and vaguely related is that this long-awaited redesign that we've sort of talked about a little bit. I've got movement on that. I've got some things happening. I started a couple days ago. So that's going to be coming soon, but potentially sort of interesting too is figuring out how that kind of stuff applies to what we do here on the podcast. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I think it's pretty clear that we've settled into a specific tone for the show.
Rut.
Sure. A good rut, I think, according to the fine folks at Pod on Pod.
Well, they haven't heard this
Yeah,
one.
that's
yet,
true.
but, yeah.
It could all go out the window. But something that we sort of talked about for a little while and then haven't done is bringing on more guests to the show. And I think that's something that we should really pursue over the next couple months. And in particular, our friend of the show, Ben Harrison, had sent in a couple weeks ago something that I have to admit I've been so busy that I did not follow up on, and I am terrible, and mea culpa, Ben. But he sent in a really cool Kickstarter project that I'll try to find, and if it's still active, we'll put it in the show notes, of a woman who's doing a project to help female entrepreneurs. And I think, contrary to, to the terrible thing that I just said, I think we're both sort of active, vocal feminists. I think it'd be kind of cool because like we're dumb guys who say stupid things to get in smart women to like talk about their awesome projects and contrast every couple weeks, when you're sick of us being stupid, get someone smarter and more interesting than us. I think that'd be kind of a fun series to do. What do you think? I'm just pitching this on the show. Joel has never heard a word of this concept before.
Oh, what was the concept again?
Yeah, he's had too much to drink.
No, well, what happened was you said that Benjamin sent us something that we didn't respond to, and then I started going through my email, and now I'm looking at it, and I feel like a right asshole.
Yeah.
Here it is. I never responded.
I think that was like mid-January.
Yeah, end of January, so it's not quite as bad.
I think in my defense, I think I was sort of in the midst of my butt disease.
And in my defense, that's all I could think about was what was happening
just
there.
For days. See, this is why we need smart people to come on the show who aren't us.
Who don't have butt diseases or obsessions with other people's butt diseases.
But I think it'd be cool to sort of, obviously, we'll take on any interesting guests that we can find who are interested in coming on. But I do think, maybe putting the emphasis on cool women who are doing cool entrepreneurial type projects. I don't know.
Oh my God. Speaking of it, did you listen to the Wadwa interview on TLDR?
I don't know. Is that a podcast?
Oh my God. Okay. Well, this is a whole thing. Look at the show notes, folks. So there was this, sorry, I'm completely jumping over. But yeah, the answer to the question is absolutely, yeah, we should have smarter people on here, especially women or literally anyone that isn't two straight white men talking about technology, because
that's pretty much all that we're good at.
That's all we are. There's nothing else to us. But speaking of butts, so there was a blog post written, and all of this is gonna be in show notes because I'm gonna get every name wrong, so I'm just gonna gloss over it. A blog post written called Sit Down Ladies, Wadwa is talking, and it's about this guy. This one I do have to get right. Named Vivek Wadwa, who has made a name for himself writing about women in technology. And I'll leave it at that for now because I don't want him to sue us. But anyway, there was an article written about how as soon as women start entering conversations, suddenly Vivek Wadwa appears and becomes, as a man, the person who ends up doing interviews, say, in Time magazine or writing books about women in technology. He's like sort of
or
the
basically go-to media quote generator.
Correct. Yeah. Instead of, say, a woman. So there was this very eloquent, great article written. The person who wrote that article was then interviewed on TLDR, which I believe is like a spin-off of On the Media from, again, NPR,
PRI, one of those types of things.
On the Media. It's a spin-off on the Media from this. So I do want to get right, so no one freaks too much.
You're trying to get a lot.
Anyway,
right.
let's. Yeah, I know.
Don't tire yourself out here.
Anyway, it's a spin-off on the Media called TLDR. So episode 45 of that show was titled Quiet Wadwa, and it had Amelia Greenhall, that's who wrote the blog post, was on to discuss it and discuss Vivek Wadwa. Anyway, Vivek Wadwa listens to the episode, posts a bunch of tweets about how libelous, slanderous it is. I can't believe they would do that, blah, 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 blah. They end up pulling down the episode and saying they promised to release a new episode of the show where they get Vivek Wadwa's comment. Which, is like the most, like the whole show is about how he is shutting down women's opinions, and then he gets the episode shut down. So episode 46 of TLDR from On the Media is an interview with Vivek Wadhwa.
I am actually like in my room right now cringing. I wish there were a way that I could audibly communicate the level of cringe that is going on in my face right now.
Well, I just posted the link in the show notes. Yeah, you think you're cringing now? Listen to the way he talks to this woman. It is the most...
I don't want to.
The most condescending, shut up, pretty little girl, I'm going to tell you the ways in which you've wronged me that you will ever hear.
So it's basically like someone saying, women, you can leave the room now. It's like that.
I mean, no one in this century would ever say something as crass as that. But yes, it's
except
like
for
that.
me 15 minutes ago.
Well, except for you, but you have a lot to learn. Americans.
Man, that's true.
So anyway, I posted the link to episode 46 of On the Media, which I just go to the episode. It's got the links to everything I referenced, the original blog post, I believe the original episode. Yes, everything like
show
that.
Notes within show notes. It's Inception.
Yeah, I mean, it's show notes all the way down. So anyway, that's something you should check out.
And all that to say that, maybe we will be making a concerted effort to get...
Let's not be the Vivek Wadhwas of it, because this did make me think. Like, we talk about being feminist, we talk about the issues facing women, but let's face it, I don't think we do near a good enough job actually helping represent the views of women by having
well, I mean,
more
exactly,
women on
like,
the show.
and that was kind of part of the genesis of my thought. Was like, I feel like this is something, as part of this redesign, and I don't know about you, but I'm sort of thinking like, what are the core values of our show? Like, it sounds a little bit lame to sort of say it like that, but
no,
what does our show stand for? What do we care about?
We've done 81 goddamn episodes.
We should
of the
really
show.
figure
It's probably
this
about
out.
time we started thinking about why we're doing it.
And yeah, I think it's safe to say that like feminism is a core value of the show, because I think we talk about it quite a lot, which is unique for a podcast about entrepreneurship and creating your own opportunities.
To loosely quote Vivek Wadhwa, we've done more for women than anyone else in technology.
Oh God, with that, okay, that's not what we wanted to do. That's the opposite of good.
No, exactly. No, so that was okay. I don't think I need to say this, but that was satirical. It was a joke. I'm not meaning to slander anyone or suggest that as our actual viewpoint. It was a little goof I did.
Yeah. Well, anywho, obviously. This has been a bit of an off-kilter episode.
I don't think so. I mean, Pod on Pod did say of all these shows they reviewed, we were the most directionless.
Which I think which is completely true, because there is no direction for this show whatsoever. Not at all.
Other than we've got our executive producer
breathing down my neck.
Yep, breathing down both our necks.
Necks are being breathed down.
My neck is so moist with breath juice.
Joel,
Oof.
I don't think we're going to be able to get any smart people onto the show with...
I couldn't imagine so.
Who would agree to be on this crap anyway?
No. Well, we could trick them.
We could.
We could pretend to be from like a real show.
We are from... A Real Job.
Yes, a real job from PRI, Radiotopia, National Public Radio.
Much enjoyment.
Maximum Fun.
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Subsidiary of
Fox News.
The Flophouse.
Ugh.
I think we crushed
it. Anyway, I think with that, let's put an end to this madness.
To this show forever. Episode 81.
Chris leaves for Barcelona. The show is done.
Chris goes to Barcelona, never comes back because he died there. Sad.
So sad.
Sad story.
So this is the part of the show where we talk about gear that we like.
They kind of gave a shit for this section on the
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is a little bit incongruous, but
they kind of nailed why we did it.
It is exactly 100% for the monetization.
It felt kind of shitty.
I mean, I was okay with it. because I like buying stuff and I like talking about the stuff that I buy. Is there anything wrong with that?
And we're consumers. We consume. That is what we do.
Basically all we do.
That's basically all we do. Am I going first? You going?
You've got something in there. I'm still trying to decide.
Well, I was waiting for you for basically forever, as you talked to God knows who. That wasn't me.
Sorry about that.
You have friends other than me now, which is fine, but whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna put in here. It's the winter, but spelled with an H and a Y. Clever. IMC-270. Like, okay. We've talked about model numbers actually on the show before, haven't we?
I think we've touched on it. I wouldn't say that it's like been an extensive conversation.
But like, why is Apple the only company out there that doesn't do completely nonsense model numbers in their product names?
I wouldn't say they're the only company, but I would say that they're certainly the most famous.
But of all the companies you interact with on a daily basis, it seems like very few don't have nonsense model numbers. I guess like the PlayStation 4 isn't the PS4-118MS. Like, no, because that would be ridiculous. Anyway, this is the Winter IMC-2770MS Compact Ice Maker 27-pound metallic silver. Yeah, it makes ice. Basically, here's the ish. Chris. That's our little spin-off episode where I explain things to you. Honestly, it makes ice. It's an ice maker. At work, sometimes I want ice. I want ice water. Let's face it, mostly I want ice to go in my drinks that I have after the 5 p.m.s. And this is an ice maker, so I always have ice in my office. And it costs $133 on Amazon. Unfortunately, not available for Prime in the American Amazon store, but yes in Canada.
No, there are other sellers here who have Prime, but it's more expensive. It's $150 sold by Amazon with Prime.
Well, I'll leave that to someone else to decide what goes in the show notes.
Yeah. So there you go.
Anyway, I've had it for a couple days now. I've made a lot of ice with it. So far, it works.
Now, does this produce? Yeah, I recommend it. Artisanal ice? Like,
all define artisanal ice that could come out of an ice maker, a thing you plug into the wall.
I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
It makes kind of a bullet, like a bullet with a hole in it.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, so not what I'm envisioning. I'm envisioning blocks of ice.
No, these are little things that a machine is able to make in 9 minutes.
I mean, I will say that, I mentioned earlier that I've been to a lot of cocktail bars this week. Mm-hmm. And the thing that always, one, the darkwood paneling seems to be required for a good cocktail bar. But two, the bartenders wearing suspenders and bow ties also seems to be a big part of the cocktail thing.
Yeah. Of course.
But then 3 is the artisanal ice. These 2 to 3 inch by 2 to 3 inch blocks of solid crystal clear ice. I gotta say, that's amazing.
I want the Neat Ice Kit. Go to studioneat.com/product/neat ice kit. I want this thing.
Well, do they sell it on Amazon? Because we'll put the link in the notes if they do.
I don't think they did. Give me 1 second. Amazon.com. I don't Neat Ice Kit. No. Go to studioneat.com. Because I have Studio Neat's simple syrup kit, and it is. I know it sounds ridiculous. Who needs a product to help them make simple syrup? It's actually great. Go to studioneat.com. Look it up. It's fantastic. I want the Neat Ice Kit. So it's a mold that will help you make crystal clear ice. And then you can take the foggy part, and then it comes with like a Lewis bag where you can hit it with a mallet and get crushed ice. So anyway, go there. I'll put this in the show notes.
Cool.
Don't buy this, though. Buy the expensive ice maker so we get more affiliate.
Yeah, or buy an imitation product on Amazon.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool. So I'm going to put in this week a pair of shoes. These are the Sperry Topsiders Authentic Original in Sahara, which is
Oh, you're all about these shoes.
See, I love these because they're great for all seasons. Because they're boat shoes, they're really good on slippery surfaces, so they're great in ice in winter. During the summer, they're great because they are styled for the summer. And they're just great year round. They're a great all around shoe, which I like. I got these because my old ones I'd worn through. But going to Barcelona, I didn't want to pack like multiple pairs of shoes for different occasions. These are great because they can be casual. If you're wearing them with jeans, they can be dressed up a little bit with a pair of slacks or something. They're really great. I love them, and I highly recommend you buy your own pair.
Yeah, I all I can say is these are the shoes that you had last time I saw you in New York, right?
Oh, almost definitely.
Yeah. So, Chris looked quite cool in these shoes. So if you want to look cool, I believe you're wearing shorts with these, and it looked completely normal.
I mean, I wear them with shorts. I wear them with long pants. I wear them with everything.
You wear them with thongs.
Absolutely.
Beach thongs.
You know it.
All right. Well, let's call this.
Yeah, that's where we jump the shark. Anyway, this has been our podcast, Not a Real Job. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you didn't,
a subsidiary of Yes, a Real Job, presented by NPR,
a wholly owned subsidiary. So if you randomly, but if you are in Barcelona, I'm guessing that you're probably not, but if you are there and you want to hang out, please shoot us an email over at info@notarealjob.com, and of course you can send in any other questions there. Or concerns as well. And of course, questions@notarealjob.com works as well. In particular, if you have a question you want us to read out on the show. We are on Twitter, both of us, twitter.com/Chris Van Patten and twitter.com/Joel Kelly. And both of those links are over at our website, which is notarealjob.com. We also are on Twitter for the show. So at NarjCast, NARJcast. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/notarealjob. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/narjcast. And that's a super great way to share the show with your friends because you can link to certain segments. It'll autoplay in the Facebook timeline. Really a great way to spread the love. Speaking of spreading the love, we always love reviews. And even if you're not going to record a whole podcast about it, we love reviews on iTunes. It's super valuable. It helps other people find the show. So you can get redirected to that page by visiting notarealjob.com/iTunes. And if you have feedback that you want to share with us privately, or if you don't feel comfortable leaving a review, you can email us. And I already mentioned that email address, info@notarealjob.com. Finally, we are on Stitcher. If you do the Stitcher thing, you can find the link on our website, or I believe notarealjob.com/Stitcher should get you to the right place. And there you have it.
Yeah, I think that's literally everything we could possibly say.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, the only other thing is that, if worse comes to worse and something were to happen to me in Barcelona, not in a bad way, but, if the scheduling somehow didn't work out, I don't know if we're going to try to put up another episode in its place, but just to warn you, the next week or so, as we sort of figure out the scheduling with the time zone difference and everything, might be a little weird, but we'll see. I think that's it.
Christopher, I want this on the record. I hope you survive this one.
Oh, so sweet. One other quick thing.
It'll be tough to replace you. I think I lost all my passwords to how to update the website. So without you,
it won't happen. Well, you've got Lindsay.
Well, I mean, I guess Lindsay could probably do. You know what? Never mind.
Take it back. If you do know like a really cool, woman or anyone else who's doing something interesting in the entrepreneurial journey, who you think would be fun to have on and would not be totally offended by our ridiculousness, please reach out. We'd love to have them on the show. No promises, but we'll see what we can do.
I mean, pretty close to promises, though. If someone were to volunteer on the show, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing that I will say is that I believe, and I've already screwed up our guest list before, but I think right now we've had 4 guests. I believe we're at 2 men and 2 women. So who's going to break the tie?
That sounds right.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, Vivek Wadhwa. We'll see you next week.
Our special in-depth.
Our special in-depth with ethics and journalism expert Vivek Wadhwa.
Oh man, let's
That's what it's been about this whole time. This season finale of Not a Real Job, it's been about ethics and journalism this whole time.
Disgusting. Let's quit while we're behind. All right. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will talk to you next week.
All right. I love you all.